Alright, it has been a while. It's been a little while since I recorded. It's still the year 2022. Is that what year it is? Oh, thank God, it is. It's just been a little while. It hasn't been too long, but the real point of order is I might have forgotten a few things about the game, and it's at this point that I've also done some reading up on. I actually got Cyberpunk Red, which is actually also another thing I should mention. If you have this game, you have the source book for Cyberpunk 2022 or 2020. It is in the bonus content section of the game files. I did not know that, but that's really cool. I'm both, I guess, kind of happy and a little sad maybe that it wasn't, Cyberpunk Red, but like sad because like that would have been really cool if it was like the newest version of the game, which was out by the time the game released. Or maybe not. Well, maybe the Jumpstart kit was, but it would have been cool if that was the thing. But also it would have been better for Artasorian to make money off of selling the game. I mean, that's definitely a good thing, so I can't argue with that. I will say that off camera, that off screen, I did get all of the tarot cards, or I believe all the tarot cards. I'll check, but yeah, so we'll go do that, which is actually, I've never actually properly like completed that quest, so we'll see. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I think the biggest talking points are just going to be how different Cyberpunk Red is to 2077. But yeah. Okay, so the big thing between Cyberpunk 2077 and Cyberpunk Red, now of course they're two different things. I mean, one is a single-player video game, one is a tabletop RPG. But even then, like, the Wasteland. But yeah, in terms of sorry. But yeah, in terms of well, for one thing, Cyberpunk Red, it goes into a lot of detail in the source book on 2045, not the 2070s. And it's because 2020, second generation obviously took place in like 2020. 2077 obviously is a really big time gap, so Cyberpunk Red kind of tried to fill in the gap in between. And as I'm recording this, like there is a Edgerunners expansion for Cyberpunk Red, which has not yet been released, but has been mentioned. So that's where I'm at on that. So there might be some things I mentioned where it's like, oh, by the way, like net running doesn't work at all like it does in the game. In Red, two completely different things. But it was in Edgerunners, so presumably we're gonna have some means of making a Netrunner build that can just instant delete people with hacks. But who knows? But yeah, netrunning is basically a lot more. So there's no direct way to damage somebody with cybernetics, at least raw, as described in the game. At least, I could think of a few ways to try and play it, but I also don't want to. Because I think the idea is that, like, everybody you're hacking into... Ooh, some enemies. Everyone you're hacking into is everyone you're hacking into is like connected to a very small local net, or connected to each other through the net. So if you hack into somebody, if you hack into one person, then you've hacked into multiple people, and you can control their cyberware. Which I think is how I would try and approach it, but also, but the thing is about that, in Cyberpunk Red, I don't see literally everybody having like neural links that, cybernetics that interface with their nervous system. I don't see that being an actual thing, although it seems to be this norm as of 2070, in the 2070s. So I don't know. Of course, again, when the Edgerunners DLC comes out, when the Edgerunners expansion comes out, that'll probably change. But also, and I'm not going to say that every single rule is bad or anything, not to imply that at all, but, I'm also I'm curious to see how well balanced it'll actually be. Because the thing is, people want Edgerunners, but it's also a trigger animation, which they are known for being over the top, just a little bit. Just a little bit. I guess it depends. But, yeah, it's, but then it also seems to play really close to how the game handles, so I don't know, it's a thing, and I don't know if there's any rules about it in 2020 where it would seem like, oh yeah, no, you can just hack people's cyberware. That's just a thing you can do. I just don't see it being I just don't see them, being, I don't know. It just seems like a really weird disparity between the two. I think probably one of the more interesting things I think about the game is that shotguns and light machine guns are based to your body stat, which, surprise, surprise, that is not how it is in Red. It's just basically you've got a shoulder arm skill, and that covers all shoulder arms. Maybe light machine guns could be considered heavy weapons. I would consider them shoulder arms, but a light machine gun at least. A heavy machine gun definitely would be heavy weapons. Let's go loud, just so I remember how this works. Of course, there are other things about, there are other things about the book that are interesting, and things that are different between, the books and the game. The Sandevistan and Karen Zykov are, they work the same. I guess it kind of works the same, but all it does in the games is give you an initiative bonus. So basically, you're always going first, but you're not going to be going. You're going faster than people, but not so much faster that you're literally getting multiple turns, unfortunately. But and it is also a weird thing where the Karen Zykov is it's just this, which is from a game perspective is a more limited version of the Sandevistan, but actually, the Karen Zykov, and they're also installed in different places. What the Karen Zykov does, it's a smaller bonus to initiative, but it's always on, where the Sandevistan you have to activate it, which is interesting, but also, completely different. Function-wise, at least. Hold on, I gotta take a picture of this. That's fair. Alright. Let me just remember how net running works. Look at people, do a thing, and then watch their heads explode. Okay, gotcha. Also, I think I mentioned before, I might have mentioned before, but I don't know, maybe animals are actually exotics, but they're like, I don't know, I'd have to read more into it. I think it's, because in the, there was one of the rule books were one of the books that went over exotics in detail for 2020, where one of the, like, full package exotic mods was Superman, which basically is exactly what all of the animals are, but it's also, like, really not that exotic. So I don't know. I think if there's any one thing I'm afraid of, it's losing interest in an IP. Just kind of a little bit's what's happened with Star Citizen in my mind. It's not really what happened with Star Citizen. So I'm recording this actually the day before. I'm recording this the day before Thanksgiving, actually. And, you know, just... this, right now, in terms of Star Citizen, the Corsair's been released. I have not actually gone into the game to fly it and check it out. I've seen, you know, the... I don't know. I don't know if what... I think there's... Well, there was, at the very least, a leak of what was... there was a leak of, you know, like, the RSI Galaxy. I don't know if that hasn't been confirmed yet, I guess, is the way to put it. But, you know, I haven't, you know, I've kept up with all the stuff. The cutter looks cool and everything. It's just a matter of, like, I really want to, like, if I was going to play the game right now, I would enjoy it. I would enjoy myself for, like, an hour or two. Maybe get a little into it, but, you know, it'd fall off. Because it's just, like, I need friends or some new content. Not necessarily, like, I need regular doses of new content, but just, like, right now it's stale, and eventually it's going to be systemic, and there'll be something that I can actually really grind towards that's super meaningful. You know, that kind of thing. I don't know where I'm going, but we're gonna see. Well, I guess I could follow the thing. Yeah, that's my real concern with Cyberpunk, is that I'm gonna, like, I'm really into it now, but I don't know how long that'll last. And, you know, like, so I'm planning on running a game of Cyberpunk Red for a friend who's coming into town. This is gonna be, like, super, super old news by the time you see it, but, you know. That is... Ooh. It's really... You know, so Death in the Tarot... I'm terrible at Tarot. I have a Tarot deck. I haven't really kept up with it too much. I don't do regular readings or anything. That's suspicious. Don't do regular readings or anything. But I can tell you that death is not necessarily, like... Well, it could be a bad thing, but it's more... like the finality of something, like letting go of something. And it could also be a matter of, you know, a bad reading could be, or upside down, it could be, you know, not being able to let go of something. So, yeah. Petrochem 2, Petrochem 1. Oh my god. Is that Petrochem 3? Oh, please tell me it's Petrochem 3. That's what I've been dying to see here. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. I also... I also went to the Arasaka estate, so when
No
they're...
need to explain, sir. Yes, I fully understand. I'll take care of it personally. Affirmative.
I'm looking forward to the end, to the boss battle. Oh, dude. I didn't see the beard. I was gonna say, dude, this guy's mustache is on point. I think it would be better without the beard. You know what? No. Maybe. Maybe not. But yeah, I'm still worried about... I think I'm definitely going to be... So I definitely, I don't want to just run Cyberpunk games for tabletop. I do want to do D&D as well. They are both two different interesting systems. There's all of that. There are two interesting systems that deserve, being played, and there's some good adventures and good times. I can guarantee there are some good times to be had with both systems. I am a little concerned maybe that I don't know. I've got some good ideas for what I want to do. Like, I want to basically set it in. I actually kind of want to abstain from using Night City as a setting. As much as possible. Maybe not as much as possible, but like, everybody knows Night City. It would be nice to explore some new areas and not necessarily be tied down. You're not necessarily really super tied down in Night City necessarily, but it'd be nice to explore some new places. Like, I don't know. I mean, how interesting could the middle of nowhere Kansas be? Well, it could be really interesting.
I know. It's
Thank
awesome,
you.
right?
Thank
Let's
you.
watch the first step together.
Right? Like, it's not just me. That lady agrees wholeheartedly.
Why? Why can't I talk to her?
Because Mom got really sick and had to leave.
Oh.
But I know she's watching you from on high and that she loves you very much.
Preston says that his dad died, and he can still see me.
You are standing in a place of eternal. Lighting candles and spray painting are strictly prohibited.
So we're high in cyberspace. Sid Mead? Creator of Worlds. Said, I feel like I recognize that name, but no, that's Sid Meier's. That was beloved friend, brother, and a good man. He was taken too soon. Andrew Wayland. He tried to shape reality at a lethal cost. I know Wayland is Robert John Linder. Robert John Linder, son of a bitch who never gave up. Legend monk. That's Johnny Silverhand. Alt Cunningham never fade. Oh my god! I didn't know this was here. I knew this was here, but I didn't know this was here. That's really great. That's awesome. Yeah, Robert John Linder is Johnny Silverhand's actual name. That's a little kind of sad that he doesn't pop out and mention anything. But it's cool. I know, so I know, like, Wayland Corporation is important to, like, the, brick. Ooh. Dude, this is actually really cool.
Cuidado! Watch out!
Kind of just, even if it's just
Lighting candles and spray painting are strictly
really superficial, just, oh, by the way, here's, you know, here's a few little Easter eggs. Not necessarily Easter eggs, but that's kind of cool that Brick has a thing. I didn't kill Brick. I just want people to realize that.
Enemy contact!